Hi, I'm Dr. Tony Rudd from Link Chiropractic in Curramandi, and today we've got a workshop to run through how to get the very best results from your care. We have a spine, we have a picture of the nervous system, and I'm going to hopefully change the way you think about how important the body is to heal itself. We have this amazing power inside us, and if you think about the egg and the sperm cell getting together and dividing, that miracle from two cells to have an embryological development into an entire nervous system and human being is phenomenal. And I don't think we give that enough respect. So if you believe that you have a power in your body to heal itself and that it works better if it's in alignment, if it's moving well and it's strong, this is the workshop for you. We're going to jam pack about 20 minutes of stuff into this, and it has the potential to change your life. If you're in pain, if you're taking medication, if your posture's not great, even if you're feeling just out of it, just brain fog and fuzz, headaches, all sorts of different things the nerve system has control over, and even digestion, constipation, all sorts of different things. And that's typically not what the first thought is when people comes into their mind about their health is, geez, I better go to the chiropractor and check the nerve to that part of my body. For example, if someone's got indigestion or reflux, so their tummy, they know, produces acids and enzymes to digest the food. And if you have an area of your spine in the middle here that's misaligned, it could be irritating that nerve. That might be because you've hunched over it, doing computer work for many years. It could have been from an old accident, it could have been from whatever. And the misaligned vertebra might be irritating the nerve to the tummy. The tummy then doesn't make the right amount of acids or enzymes, and it could be one of the contributing factors that could lead to things like indigestion or reflux. Now, how many people of the next 100 people that drove past this place would think with indigestion, hey, I better go to the chiropractor and check the nerve to my tummy? That's not what they think. They think I'll avoid the food that's triggering it. They'll maybe take a medication, an antacid or a stronger pharmaceutical medication, and it might get some relief, but is it fixing the cause of why they're getting the indigestion? Now, we know diet and nutrition is important, absolutely. But that saying, you are what you eat, it's really, you are what your body can do with what you eat. So if your nervous system is working really well, you've got a better chance of digesting the really good food choices you're putting in. So if you've got a symptom, I want you to start thinking, hey, how well is my nerve system to that organ doing? And this chart demonstrates really well, the nerve in the upper thoracic spine going off to the heart, the nerve to this thoracic's going to your lungs. Lower down nerves might be going to all your digestive organs, your pancreas, your liver, your spleen, your bowels even down lower, and your reproductive organs in that lower back. And there is a link, and there's more and more research being done here, but there is a link between the nervous system and the part of the body that goes to. And that's really what chiropractic is all about. So this is my 23rd year in practice, and I've seen miracles happen when the person trusts and allows their body to heal itself. And I found there are 3 keys that your spine and nerve system needs for it to be functioning really well. And tell me if you agree with this or not. Put it in some comments. But any joint in the body, your spine included, needs these 3 things. So if your spine is in alignment, is that better than if it's out of alignment? I would say yes, and that's your global alignment, which is your posture, and your segmental alignment, which is the individual vertebra positions putting pressure on the nerve. And who would think you're better off in alignment than out of alignment? Cool. The second one is joints are better when they're moving freely than if they're stiff or stuck. Well, geez, that makes sense. Yeah, so when those joints are moving well, they're better than if they're stiff or stuck. And chiropractic adjustment, the aim of that is to get alignment and movement. And the third thing that any joint needs is strength or stability. If a joint's weak, if the ligaments are gone, if the muscles and core stability isn't there, it's not as good. So they're the 3 things we really go for to have your nerve system functioning better. Being in alignment, moving well, and being strong. And you can't really feel your individual joints. So a lot of people come to us by the time they've got back pain, but hey, wouldn't it make more sense to keep in alignment, move well and strong before it gets to that stage, whereas back pain, or before it gets to something like indigestion or constipation or reflux or one of those things. So that's why being proactive with your health is so important. So the question then becomes, well, how do I get this spine out of alignment? How do I get it stuck? And it's pretty obvious if you've lost your strength or you've torn a ligament or something. But how do you get it out of alignment? So I look at it in a number of ways, and the first is really, it's pretty obvious if you've had some sort of accident or trauma. Like it could be a whiplash, and that could be from a car accident, of course, but it could also be from you fell off the trampoline and your head got whipped, or it could be any type of accident or fall, a sporting accident or fall. A sudden jarring impact would be enough to put pressure on. I've got the spine here. So a sudden jarring impact can definitely cause a misalignment. And if that misalignment's been left there for a while, it sort of gets stuck and stiff in that position. The joints either side, they're all happily moving. So that's where the chiropractor's specialty gets right on the joint that needs it and gets it aligned and moving in the right direction to take the pressure off that nerve. So anyone can crack a back, but if you're cracking a normal joint over and over, by definition, you might well be creating a problem. So that's where the specificity of chiropractic is so important. So yeah, an accident definitely can cause a misalignment. Now we call that vertebral subluxation. That's the name of the misaligned joint that pinches on the nerve. So what else might cause the joint to get out of alignment? Well, there's a thing called gravity, and it pulls us this way all day, every day. And so if your posture's off, if your head's forward at the computer or the texting or any of those awkward postures that you might have for a long time, that means the force of gravity is greater at that pivot point and can create enough force to create a misalignment, a sustained bad posture. And that also might be sitting posture, sleeping in poor position posture, your lifting posture at work, or just your standing, and moving around posture. So posture is key, and remember, posture is the reflection of our alignment. So, it could be sideways, it could be head forward, it could be shoulders tilted, and that's where chiropractic can be so specific in analysing your postural forces. So we've got accidents that can cause it, gravity can cause it. And there's these other things attached to our spine called muscles. And so for any movement we've got, if we've got an uncontrolled lift or an uncoordinated movement or a sporting repetitive movement, like a one-sided dominance, squash tennis player or golfer or something, that repetitive muscle force can create these little patterns which will pull the spine in certain positions or directions. So yeah, muscle forces can cause it. And the other muscle force that can cause it, of course, is things like stress or emotions. Like if you're angry or stressed, neck and shoulders, anxieties like chest tightness, guilt, resentment, churning might be right down in your gut. So emotions can definitely also cause these subluxations or misalignment. There's a whole bunch of different things that can cause it, even the birth process itself. For both mother and baby, that's even if it's a normal birth, let alone if it was an assisted or a real trouble birth. So, pretty much, I believe every man, woman, child gets subluxation or misalignment to a degree. Some, of course, much worse than others. But I believe then every man, woman and child would benefit from having their spine and nerve system working better. If it's working at 80%, what if it was working at 90%? If it was working at 50%, what if it was working at 70%? And yet it's one of the most underlooked areas of health that blows my mind, why people would not want to look after their brain and nerve system. It only runs the entire body. The brain controls and coordinates through the nerve system all the organs, all the systems. Now, of course, all the organs and systems are important, but the brain is the master controller. And so wouldn't you want that working well or as good as it can be? And yet people, they spend more money on their car and looking after their boat or their car or servicing, different things or taking holidays, and they don't look after their own alignment, their own health. And then when they haven't looked after it for 30 or 40 or 50 years, and then they come in and they want like a crack and one visit wonder to fix up 30, 40, 50 years of misalignment and abuse. That's like never brushing your teeth, never going to the dentist, going in for one visit, say, can you just clean them and fix all my teeth? Like, you know, the spine's probably had some wear and tear and decay and degeneration. It hasn't been looked after. So my call to you is, wherever you're at right now, make a decision and look after your spine and nerve system from this point on. Like, look at the last 2 or 3 years we've been through with what's happening in the world and these public health measures, and not much talk has been about your own body's ability to heal itself. Well, trust that more. Look after your body more. And that might be in conjunction with your other beliefs or things, but at least have your brain and nerve system working well. Like, look after your posture, look after your movement. So a chiropractic adjustment is specific for the vertebra that are misaligned and irritating on the nerve, and that's our job. But guess what? Your job is just as important to look after. It's even more important, in fact, because you need to look after the things that will reduce this pressure coming back. So number one, identify what's causing the misalignments and try and minimize that. Hey, that's easy. We've just talked about some of those things, but we can't follow you around all day. You're with you. So look after your posture, look after your, try and minimize your traumas. If you're dominant handed, try and bring yourself more into balance. I'm not saying become ambidextrous, but just become more aware and balanced. Can I use my other side and create more balance in my life? Because more balance means less forces that are causing the misalignment. When the misalignments are there, get it checked, get it adjusted as often as you can, both financially and time-wise, to have your nervous system firing at 100%. So there's 3 or 4 keys then that we can specifically target to go, how do we take that up the next level? So let's look at those right now. So posture. The main thing with our posture is awareness. Become aware. You've got to reveal stuff to heal it. So have a look at your own posture. Look at your ear height. Look at your shoulder height. Look at your hip height. Stand up against the wall. So, you know, is your head going forward, or are you nice and upright and comfortably upright? Is your pelvis tilted back, or are you lifting and activating your core and stabilizers so you're holding yourself comfortable? Now, for some people, that's quite painful because their misalignments are there. So in conjunction with getting adjusted, getting your spine right, activating that posture is marvelous. Who's ever seen a 80, 90-year-old person with really poor hunched over posture? What's their health like? What's their vitality like? Is their mental state often affected? You know, things like Alzheimer's and dementia often have their head forward. So if you could just do one thing to improve your posture today, that may minimize your chance of longer term health consequences. So look after your posture. The other big one is use it or lose it. So if those joints are stiff and stuck, get it moving. So one of the main ones I love doing for the spine is just a simple twisting exercise. And of course there are some people that might not be able to do this, but the vast majority of people can. And it's getting the spine joints moving in rotation. Because you're nice and upright, we're not sort of going to the side and squashing our discs or anything. We're keeping a nice upright position. I usually find hands interlocked at low chest height, and just a nice rotation where you're just having that head turning around, you're tracking that elbow as far as you're comfortable left, as far as you're comfortable right, backwards and forwards. If you're comfortable, you can go a little faster. You might even hear a bit of clicking and groaning, and you might find one side's a little bit more stuck than the other. But I would recommend doing 20 of those each side once a day for the rest of your life. 20 each side once a day for the rest of your life. That's like a dentist saying brush your teeth every day. Hey, it's just a habit. It costs you nothing, but if you just got that spine freed up and moving, oh my God, you're so much better. Every one of my clients that does that is just so grateful that they're freeing up their own spine. Not only they're helping the spine movement, but they're also helping the cerebrospinal fluid, that fluid that tracks around your brain and helps your vitality and energy and all that sort of cool stuff. So doing the twist every single day makes a huge difference. Now, I reckon also, the third thing, remember we said alignments, that's your posture, movement. So I've given you a nice easy movement one. There's heaps of other stretches, of course. And then the third one we said is strength. Do you reckon, 30 years ago, on the whole, people were stronger than they are now? I reckon overall, sure, there's some peak athletes that might be stronger, but as a whole, I reckon a lot of people have lost strength. Like, you should be able to do 30 push-ups, like boom, boom, full push-ups on your feet. Maybe on your knees if you're not good, but a lot of people have lost that core activation and that strength and power. And you could do squats, you could do push-ups, you can do just anything that doesn't require a whole gym membership, that just gets a bit more power in your body. And if you want to do some specific stuff to strengthen yourself up, oh my God, you'll be better. So all of a sudden, from today's workshop, you've understood that, hey, if I'm in alignment, if I'm moving well and I'm stronger, I'm better. You've got 3 simple key things that you can action right now that will make you better and live longer, let alone if you actually get the misalignments, the subluxations that are blocking the nerve system by getting yourself a proper checkup. All right. 2 other real keys, so simple, but geez, no one makes any money off this, so it's better to do than to not do. And food, hey, it's important. It's another whole, lifetime study, really, food. But, you can live a few days without food. And so water, you need, every few days more so than food. Like, water is more important than food is what I'm getting at. So if you are dehydrated, your muscles and alignment will not be working as well as if you're hydrated. I always use the example of a bit of beef jerky. Have you ever seen dehydrated meat? Well, if you're not drinking enough water, your shoulder neck muscles are probably like a bit of beef jerky. So they're, scratching and crappy. So get the water into you. You know what you should have. Everyone knows what they should do. Oh, I should drink more water. Well, just drink more water. It's not that hard. And your body likes water. You think of it on a cellular level, dehydrated on a cell, and the vitality of a hydrated, system, muscle system, blood system versus dehydrated. You know which one's better. So drink enough water. And of course, we said food's important, but water's more important. But what's way more important than water, of course, is air. So you don't last very long without air. So I would encourage you to do some breath work or some deep breathing. If you are breathing and doing breath work every single day, like 10 deep breaths, 20 deep breaths, or meditative, deep, calm, oxygenated breathing, think again about rich, oxygenated, vitalistic blood versus deoxygenated, like shallow breathing, tight chest blood. Your body loves being in an oxygen-rich environment. Air is free, you still got to breathe anyway, so you might as well be doing some really deep, calm breathing and lighting up your system. Your body will get better results. You'll get better results every single time if you are doing these things, if you are keeping in alignment, if you are moving well, if you are getting stronger, if you are hydrating and oxygenating. Man, oh man, 5 key steps that will light up your life. There's no drugs required for that. There's no extra anything. There's no gym membership. There's nothing. It's just looking after your system. And I would really encourage you to look after your nerve system so your body heals itself better. You'll get better results. And if you are coming in to see us to get adjusted, or if you are getting a checkup for a family member that doesn't know about this, wow, you are turning on life. You are optimizing the life force, the power that's within you. Remember that power from a male cell and a female cell getting together, forming life, multiplying and changing your entire nervous system from a cellular thing to you, to who you are now. That is the miracle of life. And that flows over the brain and nerve system. When your brain and nerve system is irritated, you do not fire on all cylinders. And drugs and medications can make you feel better, but they're not vitalistic. They're not empowering your body to be better, like a good fuel, good nutrition, good sleep, good rest, good positive mental attitude. All of those things are key, but when they're optimized by in alignment and working well, geez, you're better. So I hope you got some benefit from today's mini workshop. Feel free to give us a like or give us some comments on this video, and look forward to seeing you at Link Chiropractic in Curramundi. I'm Dr. Tony Rudd. Thanks for watching.